You're listening to Podcast PXN, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo. Let's do this.
Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome to Podcast PXN, episode 114. I am one of your hosts, your favorite Portland Mexican, Christian Macias, and I'm joined over Discord by Kentucky's #1 Spartan, Daniel Prindle, aka Dan is DTM, and, of course, the Nintendo aficionado, Roro. As you can see, Gage is not here this week, but inshallah he will be here next week. Thank you everyone watching us live and participating in the chat. Just as a reminder, we are live each and every week at 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. Just search Podcast PXN, as well as on twitch.tv/podcastpxn. The topic of the show this week is our game industry woes, but more on that later. But first, the show always starts with the PXN news of the week. But before we actually jump into that, I'm actually going to pass the mic over to Dan for a moment for a special surprise.
Wow, you're passing it to me. Okay, well, here we go. So, after the podcast last week, shortly after the podcast last week, I got an email from Jeff Keighley. Actually, I think it was Sunday. And so last year, Jeff Keighley did the Zoom calls or whatever for the Game Awards, where he was talking to a whole bunch of fans that wanted to, join in and talk about the Game Awards and ask him questions and all kinds of stuff. I joined every single one of the Zoom calls just because I thought it was super cool. He always had guests on there. I think Phil Spencer was on there at one point. So yeah, it was super cool. I got an email on Sunday from Jeff Keighley, or from his company, that said, "You are invited to the Game Awards. You can sign up to have a chance to get tickets." It was first come, first serve basis. So I was like, all right, this is in LA. I have a giant fear of flying. I hate airplanes so much, but I'm like, this is like a once in a lifetime thing. So I'm like, all right, I'll just sign up and see if I get them. I even, to be completely honest, which Christian, you don't even know. Oh, whoops. I have the wrong name up. I'm just realizing Gage's name is under Christian. Whoops. Oh, no. Sorry.
It's fine.
But Christian doesn't even know this part. But Christian, I even waited 15 to 20 minutes after that email came through, because I'm like, man, do I really want to go on an airplane? I hate airplanes so much. But I was like, all right, I'll send it. We'll see what happens. Literally, I think it was the next day, I got an email saying that I was going to get the tickets, and did I want to get a +1? And I was like, okay, sure, do a +1. And then had to send COVID vaccination cards to verify that I was vaccinated, did all that. And then I was like, all right, the +1. So the podcast peeps obviously are the main peeps. And obviously with COVID happening, I was like, all right, probably there's going to be issues with Canada and US travel. So I'm like, I would love you to go, Ro, as well. But I was like, Christian is literally right next to LA, right up the road, so to speak. Not literally, but I was like, all right, Christian, join me for this. And Christian was like, yes, let's do it.
I love to see it.
Yes, we've already been approved, got our vaccination cards and everything approved. So our tickets are coming next week, and we are going to the Game Awards live.
Yes, let's go.
Insane.
Insane,
awesome.
Dude. Absolutely
Yes.
insane.
I'm so excited. That's
FaceTime
awesome.
Ro when we're there.
Yes,
Please.
absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah, we could even do a live thing outside the venue. Just be like, yeah, we're here. I don't know, something stupid. Yeah, but yeah. So obviously, me and Christian won't be there for live reactions for that. But Ro, you're more than welcome to do that.
I would love to still do it. Yes.
Okay.
Also, and if Gage is available to do, I know he has his podcast to do as well. But I'll definitely be more than happy to do it solo if it has to be that. But yes, I'm so excited for you guys. This is going to be awesome.
Yes.
When they pan the camera, maybe you'll be able to see us. We'll give you
That's
a
what
wave.
I'm hoping. Yeah, you guys would be in the crowd or something, and be like, "Oh my God, it's Christian and Dan."
Or if they show a Halo TV series trailer like they're rumored to be showing, just listen for me to fucking scream like, "Holy shit, let's go!" Sorry.
Dan's gonna lose his mind.
I will.
What a
You
bummer
got-
that Halo isn't like nominated though.
Yeah, that does suck. And like, we'll talk about it later in terms of Halo
Yes.
Infinite. But yeah, I'll tell you what I was gonna say later.
Yeah, I just wanted to shout out Kurok on the craft as well. We're chatting with him away. He is excited for us. He also hates airplanes, Dan. Who hates flying, but he doesn't. He said he's not afraid of it. He just hates flying.
I'm with you.
He said he missed who's going, and is it Daniel and Chris? It is. It is Daniel and Christian who are going to the Game Awards. Heck yeah.
Let's all give our prayers to Dan, who is nervous about flying, but
Yeah,
you can do it, buddy.
dude. You could tell when I called you on that Discord call, I was so
Yes.
fucking nervous just thinking about getting on an airplane again. Like I was freaking out. I was legit.
He was like, I guess I'm gonna go look at flights now.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Just fly with the windows down, sleep as much as you can.
What?
Do
Put
that.
the windows down.
No, I thought you just don't like flying, or is it a fear? Or is it a fear?
Oh, it's a fear. Yeah. So,
Okay, so I thought having the windows closed would help.
Wait,
no?
when you said windows down, you mean like the
Oh,
like,
the
Oh, I meant
shade.
the blind,
blind
yeah.
thing,
Sorry,
the shade?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's what I meant. No, don't open the windows.
Ro
Incredible.
told me to. I don't know.
Incredible. Anyway, folks, let's move on to PXN News of the Week. As always, we started doing some quick bites, some smaller stories we can comment on, but we at least want to give a shout out to some smaller stories. This maybe warrants a bigger discussion, but actually no, I have it on here twice. Sorry, in my own doc, so I'm actually going to skip that one. Okay. The first actual quick bite is Sifu avoids Elden Ring, and the release date is officially moved up to February 8th, 2022. Quick thumbs up or thumbs down if you're excited about Sifu. So we got 2 thumbs up. Awesome. 3 with me. Perfect. Cannot wait. Very smart for Sifu to move up in a few weeks, in my opinion. Moving on. Halo Infinite officially goes gold. I have been proven wrong. Of course, I said it was going to get delayed. It isn't. It's ready to go. Dan, are you excited?
Oh, obviously, yes. And it just makes me happy that in just a couple weeks I get to play the campaign and then hours later go on an airplane flight to the Game Awards and not even get to play it.
Take your Xbox.
Yeah. The problem is I'm not even going to have time when we get there. Like,
I know.
So there's no point.
Yeah. Bro, you excited?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
if you
mean,
look it
a little bit. Now that I've played multiplayer, I was like, I'm itching to play a little bit more Halo. So I'm planning to go back to 2. There's no way I'm playing Infinite before I finish the rest of them, but I'm excited.
Nice. Another quick bite. PlayStation seemingly patents some faceplates. So, are we going to get some customization in the future? Perhaps. Oh, none of you guys have PS5s, I think, right? No, Dan has a PS5.
Yes. Yes, sir.
He has to finish Ratchet.
Are they going to... No, I did finish Ratchet, Christian.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Are they going to start suing D Brand who's making those?
They already did, I think.
Oh, they did. Oh,
Didn't they?
yeah. You're probably right. Yeah.
Yeah. So now we know.
That's
So
cool.
more on PlayStation later. Be on the lookout for some more PlayStation news during News of the Week. Lastly, the Analog Pocket it will begin shipping on December 13th. I don't know if any of us are interested in this. I think is this the one with the crank?
No, that's the play date. This
The
one
play date.
This one could actually, I think, play Game Boy cartridges. I'm not
Oh.
mistaken. Let me double check on that, and I can update you. But I think this is like a Game Boy system, a modern Game Boy system, which is pretty cool. But let me double check. But yeah, I'm definitely interested in this. If what I was researching on it earlier is true, it was delayed, so it's cool that it's actually starting to ship.
Yes. Something cool that I liked when they put out in their little press release that if you're away during the holidays, you can just log in to your expected delivery date or whatever, and just mark that you'll be away, so that way they know to back order it for after the holidays. Otherwise, you'll be presumably receiving it between December 14th and December 30th. So that's pretty neat.
So it is a Game Boy system, a modern Game Boy system with a bunch of cool features for the modern age, including its display, but it's compatible with Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance game cartridges. So pretty awesome.
Very cool. Very cool. Love seeing mobile gaming coming back. Guys, are you ready for news of the week?
Ready.
Let's do it. This comes from Axios. Big story here. Phil Spencer calls for base Phil Spencer, by the way. We can't get enough of this guy every single week. Phil Spencer calls for industry-wide support of emulation for older games to preserve the past. Now, I've got a quote here I thought was pretty cool. My hope, and I think I have to present it that way as of now, is as an industry, we'd work on legal emulation that allowed modern hardware to run any, within reason, older executable allowing someone to play any game. Essentially saying he wants people to be able to play old games on modern hardware, which I think is very cool, especially in the day and age where trying to play like games like Metal Gear Solid is just like a pain in the butt. Stuff like this is obviously very cool for like preservation and just ease of access to play your older games.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I think it's an awesome endeavor and one that we've been hoping would happen as soon as possible, because like you were saying, how difficult it is for certain games to be played in a modern day setting. Like, sure, you could bust out your old systems and maybe purchase it secondhand at an extremely ridiculous price, but it's always good to just have easier options out there. So it's definitely a good thing to want to have. I don't know how easy it's going to be, but I would love that to be in our future someday, especially with games just being pulled out of nowhere. And it's a crazy thing.
Yeah, it's sad that Phil knows that this is like a hope and like a dream. Like he's like, yeah, I hope that this happens, but yeah, obviously Microsoft's done a great job with backwards compatibility, and obviously that's stopping now as they've done as many titles as they could do from previous gens. But yeah, hopefully game preservation just gets better over time and not worse, and hopefully at least from like this generation forward, we don't have to worry about like compatibility and backwards compatibility and all of that stuff. That games just work, hopefully.
Obviously, one of the big issues is copyright. We see that with even the newest definitive edition of like the GTA remakes, where just songs aren't present from the old games because of rights and stuff. Something kind of interesting that this Axios article brings in is that right holders can buy in if you're able to do this like in some kind of legal manner, so that both parties are gaining money on this. Because obviously, right now emulation is like mostly done by fans, and like you're pirating Nintendo games, Nintendo isn't seeing any of that money. But if suddenly the rights holders buy in and Nintendo is in on this as well, then suddenly those parties are starting to make money, be able to do this in a legal way, and it's just a lot easier for everyone and not having to worry about downloading illegal stuff. So it would be very cool. I would love to live in that future.
Absolutely. Otherwise,
moving on. It is real. The Warner Brothers 2D character fighter titled Multiverses has been officially revealed, and it's coming to PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC in 2022. It is a free-to-play game. Absolutely insane. It will feature ranked competitive modes. It will also have dedicated server-based rollback netcode, as well as voice acting. And yes, Matthew Lillard is returning to voice Shaggy.
Yeah,
insane. Have you guys seen the videos of this game?
Yes.
Indeed. Yeah, I mean, poor Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl is all I have to say. This game isn't even out yet, and I'm already more interested in this over that one. I love the art style that they're using for this one as well, and just it having voice acting already puts it a leg above Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl, in my opinion. I'm glad Finn is there, one of my favorite characters as well, one of my favorite shows. So yeah, this cast of characters definitely speaks to me more surprisingly than the Nickelodeon All-Stars one, and it being called Multiverses is a really cool name, and definitely implies that they could be pulling from any one of their properties, which they kind of hinted at with bringing in somebody Stark. I don't remember her first name, but the Massey
Arya Stark.
Yeah, from Game of Thrones. So that's already a wild one. So who can imagine what other properties are going to pull from as well? But it being free to play, definitely, and voice acted, the art, I think all of that kind of puts it above Nickelodeon All Stars Brawl. Will it stay in the fighting game community? That remains to be seen, but I think it's a great first step, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with everything you said, bro. The art style is super cool. It's super original. Like it's kind of like a cartoony art style, but it's not like, it's a very original, like cartoonish art style. Like it's not like, Fortnite or like many of those other similar, weird drawn characters. I don't know. This is just super cool. I really like it. And it's funny, actually. I was reading that like Game Informer, they did a Game Enforcer episode or issue, which is their April issue of Game Informer, where they kind of do like these fake like games and just make up crazy stuff. And they actually did something like this, like Warner Brothers Battle Royale or something like that, with Mortal Kombat characters and stuff. So I just think it's kind of funny that it sort of kind of came to life in that respect. But yeah, looks super cool. And the voice acting is super cool that, like Ro said, to have that over, something like Nickelodeon Battle All Stars, whatever the hell it's called.
Right.
So yeah, super cool.
What are the odds LeBron James makes it in after Space Jam?
Yeah, could be.
Probably very likely, yeah. Probably crazy.
Or either Harrison Ford or Ryan Gosling from Blade Runner. I don't know, who from WB do you want to see in this game?
Whoa. I love the Cartoon Network characters I would like to see. So they already have Steven and Finn. I think I mentioned this when it was kind of a rumor, but Johnny Bravo was a character that I wanted, even though I think he's a Nickelodeon character too. But I don't. There's a weird crossover between Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon. Sometimes they air on both stations. But anyways, Johnny Bravo and what's his name? The Samurai Jack was another character.
Would love Samurai Jack.
Yeah, those two characters for sure.
Interesting. I still think it would be cool to see like some of Warner's like game properties make appearances in this as well. Like even like Shadow. They have Mordor games, Shadow of Mordor, I think is what it's called. Anyways, so characters from that would be cool. Some orcs, from Lord of the Rings. I don't know. They got a lot of options.
Jared Leto's Joker.
Ooh.
I'm just kidding. That was totally a joke. Please don't take me seriously.
More like Joaquin Phoenix's.
No, dude.
That'd be a little dark for this.
Yeah. Bring in the Animaniacs. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes.
Iconic.
Oh yeah.
Moving on, we've got a story from Eurogamer, another Halo story. Get prepared, Dan.
Whoa.
This comes with an interview with 343's Joseph Staten.
Yes.
Some tidbits here. 343 has been hearing feedback, of course, from the multiplayer beta that is live now of Infinite, but is not rushing any fixes. They're just doing minor tweaks now, seeing how things are going on a step-by-step basis. Seemingly confirmed that Forge and co-op campaign are likely to come later due to Season 1 getting an extension, as well as something kind of positive here is that the Infinite multiplayer, I want to call it more of a preview since it is kind of in beta. It's not its final release, even though it's very close. Has been very successful for them, which is awesome. Would love to see them get a win. And then I have a question here. This comes from today. IGN reviewed Halo Infinite, and Dan and I were kind of going back and forth on this in the private chat earlier today. Because it is a beta, and because 343 is still doing minor tweaks. Granted, it's not any huge changes, but I mean stuff like Battle Pass progression does seem like pretty kind of a big thing that they may or may not change. Do you think it's too early to have the multiplayer be reviewed?
Yeah, it's a weird spot for sure because obviously the multiplayer is content complete. So essentially, there's not going to be any more content in the multiplayer at launch that there isn't already there now. But like, I guess the biggest confusion I have is like, what if they make, some bug fixes that maybe warps someone's perspective? There was a famous thing that was that I was pissed off about, IGN reviewing Prey, and originally gave it a horrible score, and it made me so mad.
No one was mad about that.
Yes,
that was bad.
and it was a game-breaking bug that the reviewer had, so they reviewed the game poorly. And at the time, I was, just upset about that because I think that the game was a fantastic game. But anyways, that reviewer reviewed that because of that game-breaking bug. Like, if there's a game-breaking bug in Infinite's multiplayer or something, crazy happening, like, I feel like that's doing a disservice to review it before it's officially out, because they still have time to, polish it or fix some things. But obviously, in this case, it wasn't really, consequential in that regard, because the reviewer gave it a positive score. It was a 9 out of 10, which, I mean, that's very good. But at the end of the day, yeah, I think you and I agree, Christian, when we were talking about it. We're like, yeah, you said that, yeah, this should be a review in progress. And I'm like, yeah, that's totally what it should be. And then drop the official review score on release day or near release day. But
right. Either way, I mean, glad to see it get a positive review, and people obviously have been loving Halo. It's one of the top stream games on Twitch as well. I know Dan's very happy about that.
Yes, very. After all the talk of, if this doesn't have a battle royale, and let me just point out, the same people that were saying that if this game doesn't have a battle royale, it'll be a failure at launch, are the same people that are fucking playing the game. Courage.
Whoa!
Courage, and literally saying man, this game is amazing. It's the best gameplay we've gotten in Halo in forever. And even Dr. Disrespect, he walked back some of his comments back then, but it was it drives me insane. That's why wait till the game is out and then judge it. But yeah, here we are.
Any thoughts, Ro, on any of 343 commenting on Halo's success?
I have a couple thoughts. I'm enjoying the multiplayer so far. There's a couple of issues where I think we'll talk about once we get to what you got from me, since I think we're all playing a little bit of Infinite multiplayer right now. The delays on certain things like Forge and co-op, I don't know. I want to ask, because I see a lot of different opinions online saying how could they launch the campaign without co-op? Co-op is so intrinsically tied to Halo campaigns and Forge as well and stuff like that. And I was just would it be better if they just delayed it completely until everything was ready? Or is it better for it to launch in pieces like this? And I don't know, Dan or Christian, if you have an answer to that, because it's interesting to think about it, how people would probably be angry if they delayed it, and another group would obviously be happy, okay, take your time. Yeah, it's a tough situation, I guess, for the developers to be in.
Dan, my friend.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know if you wanted to comment, so I didn't.
You're better suited for this.
Okay. Yeah. There's definitely the camp that thinks that co-op campaign should have been there at launch, and I can't say that I disagree. But at the end of the day, they've already had a lot of campaign stuff leak because of one of their flights that they did a few months back had some campaign files in there inadvertently. And actually, streamers have already gotten the entire campaign and have already completed the entire campaign. So, I don't really think it would be wise for them to push it back just because of co-op campaign and Forge, because for me personally, I don't want the story spoiled. I'm a huge fan. If that story is spoiled for me, that will ruin the game. And also, I'll say the story is content complete. It is a complete story. It's just, you won't be able to play with friends at launch, which, yes, that sucks, but you can still complete the entire campaign solo, which personally I would rather have that than waiting another 6 months to get co-op campaign and the whole game. Yeah. Because I mean, at the end of the day, it's a 6-month delay for co-op campaign. So it's coming after 6 months. It was supposed to come after 3 months after season 1, but they ended up extending season 1 3 more months because of they needed more time essentially for development. So, which that sucks also, because that means Forge is going to be at least 9 months away after launch. And Forge is huge for custom games and just the crazy game types that you get out of Halo, which are so much fun. And I'd say that's more disappointing, obviously, than co-op campaign for me personally. But yeah, I'm excited to play the campaign nonetheless.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Moving on, Rockstar has officially apologized for the release of their Definitive Edition trilogy via a blog post. They said that updates are coming soon, fixes are coming soon. They also said that the classic PC versions will be added back to the Rockstar store, not Steam, not any of the console stores. However, if you did purchase the Definitive Edition trilogy via PC, you'll get the classic versions for free via the Rockstar launcher. So you won't have to pay for those. That said, does Rockstar actually care? Is this apology actually sincere? Because it feels like they don't really care. They got their money. They released a semi-broken game, and they're like, you know what? Here, take the old ones. Take the broken old ones back if you want them so bad, and don't bother us until we release another patch.
Yeah, I think there was a line in here somewhere. I'm trying to find it again, but I heard it read, the apology read somewhere else where they were like unforeseen issues or something like how could we know like this was going to happen until we released it and put it on stores. Like, you guys knew the issues were there, I'm sure, and you still decided to put it out. And the obvious reason is because they wanted to put it out and get the sales and stuff like that. I hope it is fixed because there's people who have bought the games and probably do want to enjoy them. I think it's great that they put the old games back up, but I don't think it's great for the reasons that they put it up. I think it's glad that it's back up there. But yeah, this is I don't know if they're sincere about this. I think actions will speak louder than their words. So hopefully they're able to fix the game and show that they are sincere and they do and they do it in like a timely manner. But yeah, I think again, when I'm not a huge GTA guy, as I've said before leading up to this, but when we saw the trailer, I was a little excited to jump in and give it a shot, and now all of that just depleted as soon as I saw the reviews and the issues and stuff like that. So it obviously doesn't look good on them. So hopefully they do take that to heart and try and make it better.
Yeah, it definitely sucks, like you said, Ro. And I don't know if Rockstar, is actually truly sympathetic for this happening. But I also don't know if Rockstar is to blame for this, or is it 2K? Is 2K saying like we need this remaster, and like they're getting another studio involved to make it, and then it's just not up to par, but they still release it. It's like there's numerous parts that are kind of like moving that it's hard to tell really what's going on. But at the end of the day, it just sucks that they released this trilogy that just doesn't live up to what these three games were and meant to the video game industry back in the day.
Yeah, because it's not like it's totally broken. It's not on par with like a Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
But I mean, it still is pretty bad in some regards. But yeah, to me, if they were truly more, I guess, sincere about it, they would, push a little bit further to actually make some amends, be able to have the other previous trilogy available on other platforms and other services on PC, and not just through their Rockstar launcher if you bought it there. So if you're like most people, you probably didn't buy it there. So
yeah.
Moving on. Speaking of fighter games, Riot Games unveils a new assist-based fighting game called Project L. There's a YouTube video I linked in the doc. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet. I'm not a huge fighting fan. However, the art style, the character design, and the way the camera just like moves when you're doing these combos looks really freaking cool.
Yeah.
That I would probably consider checking this game out.
Yeah. The art style almost looks like comic book meets like anime, sort of. I don't know if that's a good description, but yeah, it does look really original and super cool, Christian. I'm usually not a huge fighting guy either. Like, I love Mortal Kombat just for like the story and the crazy gore and kill moves. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see like if like the fighting game community takes to this game, and it'll be interesting for sure. Ro, does this excite you?
Yeah, it does. I really like the art style, like both of you guys are saying. I do enjoy fighters. I'm never really that good at them. Like Smash Bros. I enjoy, of course, and like I really enjoyed Skullgirls back in the day. That was a long time ago, and I wasn't really that good at it either. But it's the 2D ones that I really like, and I think the 3D ones are not as exciting to me. I never really get attached to the art style of them, but the 2D ones always have a unique art style because they have to, because they're 2D, or else it would be super boring. Like the Guilty Gear Strive one is the most recent example of it. Like the Arc Systems, they're making another fighting game, I think, as well, that is in a similar style as Guilty Gear. But yeah, the art style alone has me intrigued, and I think I'll definitely give it a shot when it comes around. Yeah, I think it looks beautiful.
Feels like we're in the 2D fighter renaissance with all these fighters coming out. But like, I'm here for it. Why not?
Yeah, me too.
Some more news. We got a first look at Spider-Man in Marvel's Avengers, and folks aren't too happy about this one. Of course, Spider-Man isn't going to get any levels, which is probably a good thing for people who are playing on other platforms, right? I know but otherwise, I mean, I don't know. How do I describe how there's something off about this? Like, the punches and the kicks, like, nothing quite seems to actually make contact with enemies. It's like almost the air in front of him. The web shooting just looks a little weird. The way he runs just looks like a little janky, and the swinging is obviously it's slower. It has to be. It's not the actual, Insomniac Spider-Man, but yeah, something's off about this. Did you guys catch this video? What do you think about Spider-Man in Avengers?
I'll let Rogue go first because he's the Spider-Man man.
Yeah, I remember talking about it to you guys about not being super excited for this for many reasons, and them using the lingo of hero event instead of operations, I think, is what they usually call it. Already set off some for some alarms in my head, and yeah, it not having story mode definitely is a big bummer. And there is story, but apparently it's done through like comic book panels and still images and stuff like that, and audio logs and stuff like, which is cool to an extent, but when you set a kind of a history of doing more than that, it kind of sucks for your biggest character. Kind of sucks that he doesn't get that same treatment. To an extent, I understand it because it is exclusive, but if you're going to make it exclusive, I think it should be at least worth it for the people who are there, and it doesn't look like it's worth it for the people that do have the access to Spider-Man. And like you were saying, Kristen, some of the gameplay of him, he's just like punching air, which I think is more of a game issue than Spider-Man himself, because I think other characters might have that issue too. But yeah, he just doesn't look that fun to me. And this is someone who does have access to this character, and otherwise would be excited because, like you said, he's one of my favorite Marvel characters. Like so many people out there, he's like the biggest Marvel superhero. So it sucks that he's getting this treatment after Black Panther, which was, in my opinion, so good. So kind of a bummer that Spider-Man didn't get that love.
Yeah, and like you both said, it's like a catch-22. Like, is it a good thing that there's not missions? Not really, because like, the people experiencing it are still not getting like the cool experience. But
it's a lose-lose.
It is, yeah. And like, I couldn't help but when I was watching this, I couldn't help but like think of like, this is like a cheap knockoff Spider-Man, because we're so spoiled with Insomniac Spider-Man, and I think that's part of the problem. It's like Insomniac Spider-Man is so freaking good, gameplay, visuals, and everything, that you look at this and you're just like, this is like Uncanny Valley. Like, it's not doing it for me.
I've got a follow-up question for both of you guys.
Sure.
How long does Avengers stick around after this? Because, of course, I think it was Square has come out and said that Avengers was obviously a disappointment for various reasons we don't have to get into now. But, like what else is in the plans for Avengers? Do you guys know? I think Ro plays more Avengers than any of us.
Yes.
And I don't play that much, so that's it.
Yeah.
I said it when Black Panther was coming out. I was like, this is going to be the Taken King for Avengers. Like, this is the way that they're going to turn it around. I didn't mean that it was going to be good. I meant that would be the moment that if this fails, then the game fails. Because for me, that was what Taken King was for Destiny. If Taken King wasn't good, I don't think it would have such a huge fan base as it does today. I think the Taken King moved Destiny in the right direction, and I was hoping Black Panther would do that. I thought it was great, but obviously it didn't do that for what came after it. Apparently, I'm looking at the roadmap now. After Spider-Man, there's supposed to be something after it, like a
There's
Hawkeye
like a raid
nameplates.
coming.
Yes, there's a raid as well. Yeah, I think that's supposed to come at this on the same day as Spider-Man.
Okay.
So I hate to say that again, but I feel like that's going to be the make or break moment because we haven't had a raid in Marvel Avengers yet. So maybe that'll turn around. I have a feeling that it won't, but there are people out there who really like it. Like Greg Miller, for whatever reason, loves this game.
He's like the
so
only
much.
people. He's the only person playing it. I'm convinced.
Yeah. And he said he thought the Spider-Man gameplay looks fine. So maybe there are other people out there who are like him and think Spider-Man looks fine and they're excited for this. I'm just not one of those people. And I think there's a vast majority of people who are sharing the same sentiment. So I really don't think Marvel's Avengers is going to be around for much longer after this roadmap is complete. I don't know what obviously they want to add more heroes, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It is all free updates at the end of the day. So how much longer can they last?
Exactly.
I think the biggest red flag for this game was the news story we had a month or so ago when Crystal announced that they're teaming up with the Initiative to work on Perfect Dark. I think that was the signal to the end of the Avengers because, I mean, why else would they go and work with an Xbox studio to make a first-party game other than, this game isn't working for us anymore? Like, they're probably going to finish the content that they're working on now, but I don't see Avengers going for much longer, personally.
At least it's made it longer than Anthem, so congrats.
True.
I definitely liked Anthem more than Avengers.
Really?
Absolutely. Yeah, at least the live service aspect of it. I like the campaign of Avengers more, I guess, like the story, but I enjoyed playing Anthem a lot more. Yeah.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Moving on, I have an article here from gamesindustry.biz. Reports Kojima Productions announces the launch of a TV and music division in Los Angeles. Quote, the new division will be tasked with working with creative and talented professionals in television, music, and film, as well as the more familiar games industry. Of course, Kojima, a huge film and music guy. So this is pretty cool to see the team, I wouldn't say shifting gears, but expanding into, mediums that we haven't really seen that team sort of delve into. So very excited to see what that team has cooking up in terms of either music, TV, or whatever. I'm in. I'll consume it. Sure.
Yeah, this is really cool. Kojima and his team, very talented people, of course. So, like you said, awesome to see what else they might be able to do besides the gaming space. So I'm in the same boat. I'm excited to see what they create over there.
Yeah, and Kojima's always talked about, like, over the years, his love of, like, film and music and such. So, yeah, that's super cool that he finally gets to open his own label. So
Maybe we'll get a Metal Gear anime if Konami allows it.
dang.
Whoa.
I'd watch. Okay, moving on. Some kind of insane news, I thought. Epic Games has acquired Harmonix. Wholly coming out of left field. I haven't thought about Rock Band in quite a while. But you know what? I mean, I'd be down to play some new iteration of it. Like, I'll buy the peripherals. I'll get to gaming. I kind of miss that. I mean, I would love if a Guitar Hero even came back as well. So, what are your thoughts on Epic acquiring Harmonix?
I think my biggest like, well, this isn't great moment. It was I clicked the link and read their description, and essentially they're going to be working on Fortnite content. So, like,
Yep.
I'm assuming it's going to be a music event in Fortnite, which is cool, but it's like, it's Epic continuing to put all of their eggs in Fortnite's basket, and it's like, at some point that basket's going to break. You got to have other things. You got to keep, innovating, keep expanding your portfolio. But I guess Fortnite continues to do well, so they keep investing in it.
Yeah. I think it's good for Harmonix. Like, at least they have Epic looking out for them for sure. So that's cool. I'm like you, Christian. I haven't thought about Harmonix in a while. Loved Rock Band though, but it's been a while since I've seen that name or even thought about them. So I'm glad that they're over at Epic. Not that the news is super exciting for us because we don't play Fortnite that much, but good for them, I guess.
Kirik's
Yeah.
in the chat saying PUBG for the win. I guess he's not a Fortnite fan.
You mean PUBG?
Oh yeah, PUBG.
Yeah.
Something funny too in the article that I linked is that there are still plans for more Rock Band DLC. Like there's still existing DLC plans, which means some people are still playing this game.
Dang.
Surprisingly, so
Yeah.
shout out
Awesome.
to you if you're still jamming. You need a drummer or bassist? Let me know. Another news story coming from Deadline. Amazon Studios nearing a deal to develop a series based on Mass Effect. What? Listen, I know it's kind of vogue to turn a lot of game properties into TV shows. I'm always a little bit trepidatious, but still kind of excited. I know Dan's excited for the Halo TV show that's coming out soon. So Dan, I know you're a big Mass Effect guy as well. Does this spark your interest?
Honestly, this literally is on par with the Halo TV series for me. Like, I'm very excited for this, especially seeing like how Amazon Studios handled The Expanse, because they took that over about halfway through when Sci-Fi stopped doing it, and they made that show's budget went way up first off, and it just got better like as the seasons went on. And The Expanse's final season starts this fall, I believe next month. And this would be perfectly timed with that, because The Expanse is a space, crazy over the top action type of show. So like Mass Effect would literally fill that void perfectly after they finish The Expanse and then move on to that. I feel like it would be a really, really good, way to jump off fans of The Expanse onto Mass Effect. So yeah, super interested in this.
How about you, Ro? You excited?
I have not played a single Mass Effect game as of yet. I would love to change that someday. This is definitely cool for the Mass Effect fans out there. It did literally nothing for me because I haven't played the Mass Effect games yet, but I think this is really cool.
Another reminder that I played and beat Mass Effect 1 this year, then never went on to beat 2 or 3. So
And
I should get on that.
2's the best.
I want to
That's
get
what
to
they,
it
that's
too.
what they
Yeah.
say.
So good.
They said the same thing about Halo. You know how that went. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Which is also true, Christian, but you haven't played Halo 2 either. So, wait a minute. Before Gage listens to this, Halo 2, just to clarify, is not the best. Halo 3 is the best, but Halo 2 is the biggest leap forward. Let me just clarify.
Gage is going to be like, I got you to say it. I got you to say it.
I love that every podcast, it's like the same argument, but like, well, here's the nuance where like this is why my argument is right. It's awesome. Our last story of news of the week comes from, I think, Kotaku? Yes. Dragon Age 4 senior creative director leaves the studio. Matt Goldman, a BioWare veteran, has been in the position since 2017. No longer. I don't have any more thoughts on this. Dragon Age, I'm sorry. Are you any of you guys Dragon Age 4 fans? Or are looking forward to this?
I'm interested in it. I don't have a whole lot of experience with the franchise. I played a little bit of 2 after they changed the formula a little bit, and I enjoyed it. I just didn't really play a whole lot of it. But yeah, this is a little concerning, I guess, that he's leaving. I don't know. Yeah,
it's. I remember news stories like this coming out for Halo as well, but it was late in the game, whereas like the game is almost done at this point. Probably Sure. It's okay for them to leave. They're probably moving on to different projects or different parts of the company or whatever. Dragon Age, we've only seen like concept art of.
Yep.
So it is kind of worrying that a director, what is his title again? His like creative director.
Yep.
Leave Dragon Age. So soon, presumably so soon in its life cycle. So hopefully it doesn't mean bad news for the game itself, because BioWare is it's on a tightrope. It seems like balancing.
They need some wins.
Yeah, exactly.
Somewhere in the article, I could have sworn from earlier I read that it was like due to creative differences of like the game's vision, but I can't seem to find that when I'm scanning it here. So I may be entirely wrong, but yeah. I mean, otherwise, why would a creative director lead if
True.
they aren't jiving. So, dang, hoping for the best for that team to get that game ready to go because there are a lot of Dragon Age fans. I know that.
True.
That is it for news of the week. But before we get into topic of the show, as always, we do the "What You Got for Me" segment. Start with Dan. What you got for me? What have you been playing?
I mean, the audience probably knows what I've been playing. Halo Infinite, Christian, of course, which I know we talked a little bit about this before, but obviously I've been enjoying the heck out of the game. It is anything I could have dreamed of for the gameplay. It's absolutely phenomenal. I think we already talked about this last week, so I won't keep going down that path. But talking about like the progression issues with Halo Infinite and the customization issues, so people have discussed in excess online and on Twitter and everything all the issues around progression and customization, and there definitely needs to be changes made. I think the issue is people are going to have to be patient because it's going to take time for what the heck's going on here? People are going to have to be patient because it's going to take time to actually develop these changes that are being made. Obviously, they made this progression system to be a certain way, and it's not exactly what fans want, and it's not really what anyone wants. So they kind of have to go back and look at it and say, what do we need to change? That's going to probably honestly take a couple months at least. They did say that like not all changes will happen at the season end. So for instance, the season 1 doesn't end until May of next year. That doesn't mean that we won't get any updates to the progression system until May. That just means the next season of content won't start until then. So I definitely think we'll see some progression changes before then. But I do think it's going to take probably a couple months to kind of get that ironed out. And I hope that they do, because the gameplay is so good that it shouldn't be taken away from the gameplay experience, because the customization and the progression system is so wonky right now.
I mean, at the very least, everyone, like, from what I see on Twitter, is that the gameplay is like nearly perfect for like what they want out of a Halo game. So it's just after that, it's just minor tweaking to like the overall experience, which 343 can do. Yeah. Bro, more Halo for you?
Yep, playing some more Halo just like Dan, enjoying Infinite. Before I talk about that, I'm playing Eastward as well, getting back on that game. I left it for a little bit. It's taking it still very slow, but still enjoying it very much. So just updating you guys that I have begun to make my way through that game. I'd love to finish it before the year ends. But yeah, going good so far. But yes, Halo Infinite, still playing that. The gameplay, very fun. I agree. They have a new event going on called Fiesta, I think, where every time you die, they switch out some weapons, and they're pretty fun weapons. You got the skewer, which is so fun to get a no scope on, which I got a couple. Not gonna.
Oh,
I got a couple. Yeah. But yeah, that game is really fun. That game mode is really fun. I'm having a blast with that. The progression system with that coupled, not super fun, because it's challenges that you have to do, and sometimes you don't have a challenge specific to that game mode. So the way that it works, like if you complete what did I just call it? An event challenge, which is Fiesta. If you complete an event challenge for Fiesta, you complete it and then it's gone, and then another challenge takes its place, and sometimes it's not a Fiesta one, so you have to keep doing these challenges which are so specific until you get a Fiesta one again to complete the progress for the rewards that you get for only playing Fiesta. So that's a bit of a bummer that it works like that. To an extent, I get it, because it's going to be coming back again. This isn't the only time that Fiesta is going to be available. It's going to be coming back in different weeks. So I guess they don't want us to just destroy this battle pass in the first week, and which is what I kind of understand with the original battle pass too. Like this is a long season, so us just being able to burn right through it would kind of suck, because we'd just be burnt out on the game by the time the next season comes around. So I get it to an extent, but it still kind of sucks. But besides, again, like Daniel was saying, besides that, I'm still enjoying the gameplay of it. Yes, Christian.
The pass is it's like 6 months, right? Something like that. Maybe Dan knows.
Yes, it's 6 months, so it ends May. It's 6 months from
That's right, yeah.
when it launched. Yeah. So yeah, and Ro, you're totally right on all of that. And that's kind of the dichotomy they're in. Like you're saying, like 6 months is a long time. So like, could you know? It's hard to imagine speeding up the process of the battle pass, because you do that and people are going to finish the battle pass, and are they going to come back to the game at the end of this season because they won't have anything to unlock? So it is a interesting dichotomy.
Yeah. I'm nervous.
Here we go.
I also wanted to I saved this for the stuff what you got from me. It's not even something that I did, but I just wanted to mention because I wanted more people to hear it. Because in the pre-show, I'm not sure if that's put on podcast services, but I don't think it is. But just in case, I just wanted everybody to know that I listened to Christian's video essay on YouTube, and it was really good. It was really good. So it's not what I got for you, but it's what Christian's got for us, and it was really good. And I just wanted to compliment him on the great job he did. But have you heard of Super Eye Patch Wolf, Christian?
Super Eye Patch Wolf?
Yes, he's a YouTuber. He's a YouTuber, and he does video essays too. And I'll link one of my favorite videos in the Discord for you if you haven't heard of him.
Please.
But he talks about stuff that I just don't care about sometimes. Like he would talk about WWE. But since he's so good at telling stories, I'm just like listening to him for the full 40 minutes or whatever. I was like, this is so good. Like I don't know anything about WWE, but I'm learning about it. He's doing such a good job. And then by the end of the video, I'm like, dang, it's over. I love listening about WWE for all of a sudden. And I felt that way watching your videos where I haven't watched Master of None. I don't know that much about photography, but the way you tell the story was like, I'm in. So yes, everybody go watch Christian's video on Penultimate Conquest. It's really good on the Master of None.
Yeah, that is a very nice compliment. Thank you. I'm always looking for more video essays and essayists to watch. So
I got he's fantastic. Open. He's awesome.
Yeah, awesome. I'll start with what you got for me with that then. Yeah, so if you're willing to watch a video of me geeking out about film photography and Master of None and how those two are related, check out my video essay. It's very cool. Oh, I mean, I think it's cool. Otherwise, yes, Dan, I have the past week have been playing Halo Infinite. I downloaded it. What?
You didn't invite your pals, Ro and me? Yeah, come on.
I saw Ro was playing at one point, but I had a buddy that we were playing together. And so every time we'd log on and we'd hop in together. So I wasn't playing it by myself.
Okay.
And before Dan berates me, I just want to make it clear. I think the game is probably good.
Oh, Jesus.
Probably a good game, all right? The thing is, I think it just isn't for me. Sadly, I never found the fun. And who knows? Like, I still have it installed. I still want to keep playing. I'll probably come back every now and then. I want to play with you guys as well. So, like, this is, like, tentative, like, thoughts on it. My only issue is, and this is, like, the DNA of Halo. So it's like, if I don't jive with this, then that's just, I'm out of luck. Because I'm not a fan of the TTK. Like, I was watching videos on TikTok even of how to, like, effectively use the burst, the BR. And it's like, yeah, put 3 bursts into the body, and then the 4th burst, you have to move it up to the head, and then you get a kill. And it's like, well, that's 4 bursts. That's, 12 shots. That's a lot of shots. The TTK, obviously, if you're going to miss some shots because you're moving and they're moving, it's going to take, like, a clip or 2. And that just, to me, is... What?
A clip or 2? Are you
I don't know,
blind?
Man. Hey, man, I'm just saying... You aim in, you get shot at, it takes you out of the aim. What do you want me to do? Hit fire from across the map? No
Christian.
way. The TTK takes so long, people just walk away from me.
Christian, here's where I think you would benefit. You need someone who knows Halo to play with you, because whether you're scoped in or not, the accuracy doesn't change on Halo.
I do know that, yeah.
All right. I'm just checking. But the TTK I understand, because it is a longer TTK than many other games. However, it's not crazy long. Like this is actually surprisingly, Infinite is actually one of the shorter TTKs of the entire franchise. Like Halo 3's TTK is so slow, especially compared to Infinite, and like Halo 5's even is very, very slow compared to Halo Infinite. And Halo 5 is a much quicker, faster game. Like it has more movement things. But sorry, go ahead, Christian. Sorry.
The other thing that just isn't for me is on-site procurement. I'm never a huge fan of, and I know, like I put out a dumb, it's a memeable tweet that Splitgate is better than and I'm joking. I was trying to get a reaction to Dan, see if you'd respond, and he did.
I did. And I also saw somebody respond and say, Christian, you're just afraid to say that Halo's bad. And I almost went off on that person. I'm like, no, I'll leave it. I'm going to leave it alone.
Who knows? All I'll say is that in Splitgate, I know it's on-site procurement there as well. But like when I don't have one of those guns that people pick up, I never feel like I'm at a disadvantage compared to other people who have like power weapons or like other stuff. Versus in Halo, if I spawn in with like the guns that you get when you spawn in, I feel like if you don't find a gun quick, like get prepared to die encountering anybody. And so that just for me just isn't the kind of game experience that I look for. And look, I know I joke around about how Halo 4 had the classes, right? I actually kind of I don't know. I'm more of a class. That's just the way I grew up with like my shooters. So it's a personal taste thing. I'm not saying the game is bad because of it.
Right.
It's just that I don't find that fun, and like I'm glad everyone else is having fun with it. I wish I did as well.
Did you play? Did you play ranked, Christian? I'm curious.
I did not play ranked.
I think you may actually like ranked better because ranked you actually start with an even playing field. Everyone has BRs, which BRs are the most effective guns because you can shoot across the map. So I maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like you would enjoy ranked more.
That could be, although it does get sweaty, and I don't know. And people like are familiar with Halo way more than me, so I don't know how I would fare.
Yeah,
but I'm interested now. I would be willing to try that. My last controversial take is I actually don't like Slayer very very much. Because of the on-site procurement factor, like I just, I never feel like I'm having fun in Slayer because of that, and I'm actually enjoying the.
Sorry, I just want to remember what Slayer. Slayer was just team deathmatch, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Versus like the objective modes, like Oddball. Like I had way more fun in Oddball just because we're all playing the objective. Also, everyone, kept the flags.
Yeah, play the objective.
Play the objective. I get you're doing some challenges, so I won't knock you there. But otherwise, yeah. So I'm just weird. The game is good. It feels good to. I never felt like it wasn't fun to play, or it didn't feel good, I should say. But this wasn't for me, sadly. However, I still want to give it more shots. So you haven't seen the last of ISO Christian on Battlefield or on Battlefield.
Oops.
On Halo.
Christian.
Please don't hate me, man. I'm sorry.
Yep, that makes sense though. You're just not a fan of like the pickup style game, Doom-esque. I'm sure you weren't a big fan of Doom multiplayer either. Doom 2016.
Yeah. I mean, I like the campaign, but not. Yeah. It did make me sad though. What?
Sorry, I just wanted to shout out Kurt Croft in the chat again. Never liked Halo multiplayer, he said. In it for just the campaign only. The multiplayer is just bunny hopping competition, which I don't disagree with.
Oh, what?
Bunny hopping part.
I'm a bunny hopper.
Yeah.
A bunny?
We're just bouncing around, like jumping, trying to throw off the opponent's aim. Oh my god. So annoying. Let me shoot you in the head, please. Daniel does not agree though.
You guys are killing me.
You know what? We're all getting our grievances off our chest. I'll say something.
Oh no.
When I was playing Halo yesterday, Fiesta was kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like that was kind of fun. When I started playing Big Team Battle, I was like, damn, I would rather be playing buggy ass Battlefield than Big Team Battle ever again. I did not like Big Team Battle. Hated it.
I will say Big Team Battle, when I was younger, I enjoyed Big Team Battle more, but as I've gotten older, I've gotten more competitive, and I enjoy the competitive arena a lot more than Big Team Battle, but I still like enjoying.
If I had a squad with people with me going into Big Team Battle, I am sure I'd have fun. With two of us going in, I was like, this isn't fun for me. This kind of sucks for our team.
That's some of the most fun moments when you have a whole lobby of 12 people going into Big Team Battle. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I'm sure that's awesome. Okay, sorry, that's the end of my Halo thoughts. More to come soon. Who knows? It is time for topic of the show. What is wrong with the games industry? Some games industry woes, and there is a lot. Initially, I was going to go into this week throwing in these because, of course, we're going to talk about Bobby Kotick. I was going to throw him into quick bites because, like, this dude doesn't deserve our time and attention. But then the more I thought about it and the more news came out, I thought it could actually be like a healthy place to kind of engage with it a bit further than the ways we have before, and kind of take it as an opportunity to like kind of learn what we can do as like individuals, and not just like how to respond like at the company level or whatever. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. I got a lot of news article here. We'll try to digest it as quickly as I can. I'm going to start with 500 ABK employees have signed a petition asking Bobby Kotick to be removed. I'm going to pull from one of their statements. We, the undersigned, no longer have confidence in the leadership of Bobby Kotick as the CEO of Activision Blizzard. The information that has come to light about his behaviors and practices in the running of our companies runs counter to the culture and integrity we require of our leadership and directly conflicts with the initiatives started by our peers. We ask that Bobby remove himself as CEO of Activision Blizzard and that shareholders be allowed to select the new CEO without the input of Bobby, who we are aware owns a substantial portion of the voting rights of the shareholders. Tons of problematic stuff. Even if Bobby chose to step down, he would still have a say in who comes next, which is obviously a huge issue. I'm going to hold off your guys' thoughts here for just a second. I'm going to throw in another article. This comes from Jason Schreier at Bloomberg. Of course, based Daddy Phil Spencer criticizes Activision Blizzard and tells staff in an email obtained by Bloomberg that Xbox is, quote, evaluating all aspects of our relationship with the embattled publisher. Of course, money talks. Maybe this will have some kind of change in leadership. I'm going to have one more quote for you guys, and then we can discuss a little bit here. As public backlash mounts, the company's stock has taken a hit. JP Morgan Chase cut its recommendation on the stock, citing the growing controversy over Kotick. The, quote, recent negative headlines introduce a significant amount of uncertainty into this story, and it is unclear how long this issue will remain at risk, JP Morgan analyst Alexia Quadrani wrote in a note to investors. Of course, along with that, Activision stock slid 3% on Thursday, bringing losses this week to more than 10% total. So, obviously, like I said, money talks. Like, people don't like losing money. Shareholders do not like losing money. They don't like having negative press concerning their company. Is this going to cause some change in Activision Blizzard? Do you have any thoughts on this?
I think money is the only way that they
Yeah.
would be able to affect Blizzard at this point, because Bobby Kotick doesn't seem to be wanting to move from his position at all. And what you read first with him, even if he were to step down, he still has sway in who comes next. Is trembling. I didn't know that. I didn't realize that was the case. That's scary. I hope whoever replaces him, no matter who it is, even if he does have say, would potentially be better than Bobby Kotick. I hope that would be the case, that he doesn't usher in somebody worse than him. It seems hard to believe at this point, but anything's possible, I guess. But yeah, over 500 people that work at your company don't want you to be the head of the company. If I were Bobby Kotick, I would just be so embarrassed that I would leave. I can't imagine staying there. It just takes some cojones, I guess, even though his must be very, very small. But
Nice.
my God, I can't imagine. And like you said, the last one that he said with he's planning to leave if he will consider stepping down from if the workplace issues aren't fixed with speed. And even though he's the issue, it's like, so he's not stepping down pretty much. And it's crazy that Phil, PlayStation, and we're going to get to Nintendo as well, but the big three all said, like, what's going on over at Activision doesn't stand with what we stand for at our companies as well, which is huge. I think that's awesome that they were all voicing their concerns with what's going on over at Activision. So again, the bottom line is what I think is what we have to do is hurt their bottom line for things to actually change over there, unfortunately. And like you said, Christian, we're going to talk about how we could impact it ourselves. But yeah, that's just my thoughts so far.
That's like, his comment, like you said, Ro, where he says he would consider stepping down if workplace issues aren't fixed with speed. That's such a tone deaf thing to say. Like, you moron, you are the reason why this is happening. Like, this is the top. It comes from the top down. That's how, companies and cultures and everything is formed by the man in charge. That's why the culture of Xbox changed completely when Phil Spencer took over from Don Matrick. Obviously, it wasn't for these reasons, but for other reasons. Your culture is absolutely based around your top leader. So, yeah, it's such a stupid comment for him to even make.
That comment was stupid, but then I clicked on the headline and it somehow got worse. Or the article, I should say, not. Yeah. So Kotick, and this is just like, pay attention to the verbiage here. Kotick said he apologized for how he has handled the situation. Right? Keep in mind, like that is very passive. That implies that he is not apologizing for what he did. It's for how he handled it. And then he, moving on, that he's ashamed of some of the incidents that have happened during his 30-year tenure as CEO. Doesn't cite specifically the actions that he did, just the ones that have happened under his watch. And I would go even so far to say that this whole thing implies that he isn't really apologetic at all. He's more apologizing for him getting caught. Because this has been a long-standing history. I'm going to just, for time's sake, quickly throw in that, according to Fanbyte, Nintendo of America President Doug Bowser has, I think it was sent an email to Nintendo saying that he found the reports distressing and disturbing. And if that wasn't bad enough, there was another lawsuit that was revealed this week.
Wait, so we're glad that PlayStation's against Activision, right? So they must be a good company.
One would think. It is everyone. Everyone sucks in the games industry. Former PlayStation security analyst is suing the company over wrongful termination and gender discrimination. Maybe the games industry sucks, I wrote. And, like, indeed, yes. Why? Just men in general. Why are we like this? Why? So I'm gonna use this opportunity to shift to this discussion questions I have, because I think this might be more fruitful than just us saying, like, yeah, this sucks, et cetera, et cetera. We have said this before, too many weeks, I would say, this year.
Yes.
So, of course, I think it's very important for things like unions to exist. I think it's very important for there to be tons of voices within the companies that are addressing these issues sort of head on. I'd love to see that, right? People versus company. But there are things we can do on the micro scale to prevent stuff like this from ever even happening to begin in the first place, right? We want to treat how does the phrase go? The symptom, not the wound, right? I think I have that right. And that, I think, begins with culture and the way kind of, quote unquote gamers respond to one another. Right, there are tons of communities that are toxic. You could play an online multiplayer game and hear either racist stuff being thrown out or very sexist and misogynistic stuff happening. And normally I'd be the kind of guy who just like mutes and moves on. But lately, and especially in Valorant, during my time in Valorant, I got used to calling that stuff out because the buck's got to stop somewhere, right? If I'm silent, I'm in some way implicit. So if I'm vocal about it, at least in some way, I'm hoping that the dude is going to wake up eventually to realize that stuff like this isn't okay, right? And so I'm posing the question is, what can we do? And I'm just considering the PlayStation article and all of Activision stuff. What can we do as men in the game space to prevent stuff like this? And there's no right answer, obviously. I just want it to be a kind of dialogue for things we can do.
Yeah, like, on the micro scale, like Christian, you made a really great point about, when you hear stuff in game or you see text chat in game, like, I'll give you a great example. And this is maybe more so a great example of why I probably personally shouldn't be the one doing this, because I don't handle it well. When I've had numerous situations playing Master Chief Collection where people will type in the chat or they will talk over chat. And mind you, I play 99% of the time I'm playing Master Chief Collection, I'm playing solo. So I don't have my headset on because I like my surround sound setup better than headphones. So I'm literally just playing, and you get these like racist, like just disgusting things being said over my speakers, and I'm just like, all right, this is pissing me off to the point where I'm gonna plug in my headset and go off on these kids because it just pisses me off. I literally, I'm not kidding you. I will turn my headset on and just start screaming at them saying, shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. You're ignorant as hell. But then obviously that doesn't help because it just gets worse. It just gets more spiraling.
Talking to a wall.
Yeah, it really is. But yeah, there's definitely some things we need to do, like to address these things, and like maybe some better report functionality, some from games and game developers, and in terms of like in their environment, like that they have reporting structure at their companies to like report something that's happening to an anonymous, intermediate or independent, not intermediate, independent person that isn't involved in the company, so that they don't have sway, whether you're going to get a bonus or a raise or whatever. Like, some people are legitimately afraid to come forward with things because they're afraid it's going to affect their, stature at the company and like risk them being able to move up in the company. So I think they definitely have a lot of things that they need to add in that regard.
Yeah, it's kind of it seems like there's not a lot we can do sometimes, but I don't think that's an excuse to, or I don't. There's a lot we can do, but it just seems like it doesn't have a lot of effect sometimes.
Sure.
And I don't think that should be used as an excuse not to try to change it, because we should at least try to change it and set an example for at least ourselves of the world that we would like to live in. But I agree with both of you, and speaking up against any hate that we may come across, whether it be on Twitter or in the games that we're playing, is definitely very important to just call it out, and also just sometimes be quiet and just listen to people like the women and people marginalized in these instances, and support them in a lot of these cases, just to listen, spread the word, and make sure that the people who are hurting these people are held accountable. The thing that I've been doing is just not supporting me outright, and that is something that is, seen with either praise or like, what are you doing? Why are you helping the developers? Which is what I saw most recently, was a higher person in the video, a more popular person in the video game industry saying like, you should still buy the games even if Activision is a crap company, because you're hurting the developers, and kind of shaming those who decide not to do that. Which I definitely understand the mentality behind it. Like, of course you want to help the good people at the company as well. I don't think it is wrong to not to partake in wanting to support a bad company either, though. So I don't think you should be shamed for choosing one or the other. Yeah. So in my particular instance, I don't want to support Ubisoft or Activision at this time until there is change. Riders Republic, as I said before, the games that they make usually aren't games that speak to me anyway, so it's kind of easy. But Riders Republic was the most recent one that I kind of had to fight myself not to purchase, because it looks really fun. But it's like, no, they're doing some horrible crap out of there, and I don't think it's been settled yet. So that's just something that I try to do, is just not to put my money where my mouth is. And again, if you are someone who plays games from companies that you don't agree with the ideals, I still think that's perfectly fine. It's just something that I just don't want to do. But yeah, I just hope something changes, because like you said, Chris, we've been talking about this a lot throughout this year, especially. So hopefully, as time goes on, we kind of weed out these kind of terrible people and get a more wholesome gaming space. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but it is hope. I hope it does.
That is a great segue, because I don't have a plan per se, but like I have like a quote unquote, I'm going to say solution, because it does, I think, in some way kind of affect the culture that you see or would like to see, or that at least kind of impacts you, or that you see in your circles online. And I wrote down in the notes, just boost marginalized voices in the industry, and that can mean a lot of things. So Ro mentioned the idea of like just listening. Normally, I'm not a big Twitter Spaces guy, but Moises Taveras, aka Platano Ranger, had a space on Twitter a few days ago. It was like it was meant to be a joke referencing a different space, and it was called Gamers or like Rotting My Brain, something like that. And it ended up being actually a very insightful conversation about like just marginalized people in the industry, like period, and about how we treat each other and how Twitter can be very toxic, the games industry can be toxic, and so it was very insightful just to sit and listen to see what other people are hearing or things that are being said to them. Just being exposed to that was just eye-opening alone. And some other things that I've seen happen throughout COVID is the opportunity to get more diverse voices in the industry, right? Because people aren't producing videos in-house; they're doing a lot of online stuff. It allows for people to come into the industry that haven't really had voices in there before. Obviously, the industry has been led by a lot of white dudes, and having people come in remotely, we've gotten tons of female voices, trans voices, people of color. So I think doing stuff like this, elevating voices that are normally marginalized and we don't hear a lot of in the games industry, will go a long way to eventually then change the sort of culture that we're seeing in the games industry and remove some of the more toxic viewpoints that we've sort of been accustomed to, or hopefully not accustomed to, but have seen for such a long time. So, and that's my last note.
Yeah, I completely agree. That's I literally couldn't say it any better, Christian. I think that was well illustrated, and obviously we just need to all do a better job at being better people. But yeah,
don't worry. Next week will be fun. Next week we'll have a good topic of the show. Okay. It won't be just. Actually, I'm not even here next week, so I don't know what you guys are doing. We don't know what news is coming out. But
actually, you won't be here the next 2 weeks, right? Or are you gonna join us from LA?
Is that true?
Right?
Oh, I guess I won't be here on the 8th either.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Maybe I'll call in or something.
Yeah,
I'll figure something out. Well,
Yeah.
I'll figure something out. Okay.
Right.
Otherwise, thank you again to everyone joining us both live on YouTube and on Twitch, as well as podcast services everywhere, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, and Stitcher. Thank you, Ro. Thank you, me. Thank you, Gage. How you doing, buddy? Thank you, Dan. And this has been Podcast PXN, and we are out.
Much love and keep on gaming.
See ya.
Be better.